can we just turn this to you for a second and give us some background on your wonderful friend, Emma?
I've been waiting for this moment.
Okay, good.
I love Emma Smith. And I think one of the reasons why I love Emma was because she was a very real person. And she had a lot of hard things happen to her, and she did endure many of them well. Some of them she didn't endure so well, which makes me feel better because sometimes I feel like I'm not enduring things very well. She was born in Harmony, Pennsylvania, right on the edge of the Susquehanna River. When she was 7 or 8 years old, I love this story, she became a Methodist. Her uncle was a Methodist, and many of the people in the area became Methodists. This is a very small town, a very on the edge of the frontier. But her father was not a Methodist. He didn't really want to get involved in organized religion. But part of the Methodist tradition was to go into the forest or into a grove of trees and to pray out loud, and to pray for your own conversion and to pray for other people. And so when she was 7 or 8 years old, her father was out hunting, and he heard her praying for him. And it changed him, and he immediately became converted to Jesus Christ and to the need for salvation. And I love that experience because I think it's so much like her husband's would be a few years later, a few miles up the river, when he prayed too in a grove of trees.
This is a rare opportunity for you to ask questions of someone who probably knows Emma better than anybody in the church. Do you have any questions or even thoughts that you'd like to share about Emma?
So I know that Emma was asked to organize the hymn book, and I'm wondering if she liked to sing or if she wrote any songs or anything.
You know, she was known for having a very beautiful soprano voice in the Susquehanna Valley, and the Methodists sang quite a bit at that time. But there had never been any other woman who had edited or collected or put together a hymn book. So this was a very rare thing for a woman to do. She collected a great deal of hymns from a lot of different traditions. I think she recognized that these early saints came from various faith traditions. So she had some congregational hymns, she had some Methodist hymns, she had some Baptist hymns, and some Latter-day Saint hymns and other hymns in this first hymn book.
Hey, but that was a great question bringing us in there. And I'm going to ask you, Jenny, maybe you could kind of walk us through.
Yeah, I want to give you a little bit of historical context to section 25. So this was given in Harmony, Pennsylvania in July of 1830. And here's something interesting. If we remember, the church was organized in Fayette, New York in April of 1830. And Emma was not in attendance. And I don't know why. She doesn't appear on any list of people that were there. She probably was still back in Harmony. She was the sole breadwinner for their family. And she had a dairy and cows. And so she was probably trying to make money while Joseph was doing church stuff. So she did not attend that important meeting, but he came back and told her about all the things that happened and the baptisms that happened. In June, the end of June, she went with Joseph to Colesville to the Knight family farm. It was there that they built a dam in his pond in the river there so that she and Joseph Knight had already been baptized, but his wife and some of the rest of his family to be baptized. But a mob came and tore down the dam. And so the next morning they built it back up again. And so she was baptized and they were going to get confirmed right after that. But another mob came and took Joseph. They charged him with disorderly conduct and took him and put him in prison. And so immediately after her baptism, she saw her husband being torn away from her and being taken to jail. And she was scared to death. So later they're reunited, the charges are dropped, and they go back to Harmony where it's just the two of them. And he receives a revelation for her. And I love the fact that she was told in this revelation to be a scribe unto him. And she had already been a scribe for the Book of Mormon. But I kind of wonder if she actually wrote down these words that he received from the Lord that were directed to her. I don't know. I like to think that she kept that and kept it close to her because it was special to her. But then they published it in the first copy of the Doctrine and Covenants.
President Nelson has asked us recently, actually just last year, for the women of the church to study and really study Section 25 of the Doctrine and Covenants. Maybe we could put that quote up by President Nelson. He says the following: "The Lord instructed Emma to expound the scriptures, to exhort the church, to receive the Holy Ghost, and to spend her time learning much. Emma was also counseled to lay aside the things of this world and to seek for the things of a better, and to hold fast to her covenants with God. The Lord concluded his instructions with these compelling words: 'This is my voice unto all.'" And then he continues, so, and this is the prophet, I invite you to study prayerfully section 25 of the Doctrine and Covenants and discover what the Holy Ghost will teach you. Your personal spiritual endeavor will bring joy as you gain, understand, and use the power with which you have been endowed.
What has been your experience with section 25 specifically? What have you learned about discipleship or about life from Emma and from this section?
Oh, so many things about discipleship. One, I think in verse 2, talks about what it means to endure it well. He says, if you are faithful and walk in the paths of virtue before me, I will preserve your life, and you shall receive an inheritance in Zion. And she lived until 1879, so she was 75 years old when she died. But it gives her very specific responsibilities. It says, the office of thy calling shall be for a comfort unto Joseph, thy husband, in his afflictions. I think that's so interesting. I love the word office. I think that means that she is given a certain assignment, a particular responsibility. We talk about the office of mayor or the office of the president. This was her office. And I love the word comfort unto her husband. That doesn't mean she's to support or sustain him. It means she's to reach down and comfort him. It reminds me of what Jesus told his disciples, that he would leave a comforter to be with them.